Hey everybody, welcome to Quinton Recounts fucking diving into some pussy.
All right,
I'm
so
sorry.
I have
You can
revoked
start it.
I have revoked your right to introduce any of my videos ever again. You now no longer have that ability. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a little show I like to call Two Dudes.
Fucking each other. Jeez.
You're
I'm
terrible.
sorry, it just
Little
came
kitties,
out of me.
little
I don't know where it came from.
Caleb, little kitties are just showing up to this video like, "Mommy, mommy."
I want to see Lego Man, that's what we should do.
What?
You know those...
Explain
I think
homosexuality
it's
to
a video.
children?
You nailed it. That's whatever I was gonna say. It doesn't matter now.
Welcome to Two Dudes Reviews. I thought of that title the other day while I was having a mental breakdown because nothing in my house was working. This is a thing we're going to try and do once a month, maybe once every 2 months, where we just go to the theater, then we sit down and we do like a smooth podcast kind of thing where we just talk about a movie we saw. Like,
All one take.
What?
All one take.
All
too.
one take, yes. We did not start over at any point. This is not the 10th time we have recorded this.
And we are reviewing Lego Batman.
This was my idea for what we could do to really transition into fully talking about the movie.
I say we go off of shredded abs.
Well, I just thought we could talk about the trailers that played before the movie real quick.
Oh. Minions!
I did this for Ghostbusters, and I think it is an important piece of context for the movie-going experience.
Despicable Me 3. Me 3? The E in me is now a 3, so Despicable Me 3. A trailer for that showed up.
Yeah.
And it's a little foggy. Whenever I saw the animation style, I was like, oh. And then this man who looked like he walked straight out of the 80s appears, and he's just a fucking goofball.
Yeah.
And it's fun.
So
it's a really fun trailer to watch.
Yeah. Okay. So here's how it was to me. It was like a trailer for, you knew it was a Despicable Me movie from that company, and they haven't made like the greatest movies of all time, and you're disappointed.
Yeah.
And then one of the South Park guys comes out, and he's a character with a really fun design and a gimmick, and he's just really enjoyable to watch on screen. And you're like, oh, this might actually be a fun movie, like worth seeing for real, not as a joke. And then like all the characters from the other
And then Minions come out and fucking bust your kneecaps.
It's not Minions. It's any character. All the characters from the other Despicable Me movies come out. The fucking main character comes out, and it's immediately much worse. It's a guy.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a guy doing a voice. The voice has no range. There's no comedy to be done with this awful voice. And I think it is Ben Stiller. I think you're right. And then the fucking Minions show up, and suddenly it is the least funny trailer. Anyways, so here's why I want to talk about this.
This video sucks.
Shut up, Caleb. Emoji movie trailer comes on, right? Emoji movie trailer. And
hello.
And there was
I'm as depressed as you are to see this trailer.
Now, why do I want to talk about the emoji trailer? Just to put in concrete the huge distinction between the lazy garbage comedy of the people who made the Emoji movie and like the people that made the Lego movie, because the Emoji movie was right next to a trailer for, what is it, Lego Ninjago? Is that it?
Yeah, which I thought would be bad, and it also made me laugh.
The point isn't really anything about Lego Ninjago, like, super specifically, because that's not what we're reviewing. The point is just how much more talented the people writing, like, the Lego movies are to, like, any other CGI movie. We were sitting there watching the Emoji trailer, and I think all three of us, because I went with Caleb and his friend. I don't know if we should say his name.
Our dog.
All three of us were watching this Emoji trailer, like, giving it the benefit of the doubt, being like, yeah, this is definitely, I would categorize this as, like, humor, and then just immediately...
I could find this on the worst subreddits.
Yeah. And even the like few children who had went to the show in the back row, the kids who had laughed at the fucking Minions cameo in the Despicable Me trailer, even they did not make a noise during the Emoji movie trailer. This is important. And then
I love those kids in the back, by the way.
Yeah. What
for the one comment that they made during the movie.
What did they say? I can't remember, but it was super funny. Oh, I remember.
They all...
Someone went,
Yeah.
iPhone.
iPhone. Like, the whole movie, they're silent. All these jokes are going off, and there's just this one scene where Bruce Wayne has an iPhone labeled iPhone, and that's what he decided to tell the whole theater about.
Yeah. iPhone. The point is that, like, it was just way fucking better. Like, it changes... Like you stop giving pity to the movie for being bad. I think I do that with comedies too often, where I'm like, they're trying, okay.
All right. So no more trailer talk.
No more trailer talk, because after that it's just
everybody's
Power
already
Rangers.
clicked off.
Yeah. I don't know if you realize this, Caleb. I haven't talked to you about this quite yet, but I think actually a lot of people just might show up to this video not really wanting any spoilers, and they'll want to hear what we think of the movie, just like, you know, our recommendation. But, you know...
What an interesting and new idea that you've just had, Quinton.
What people should know about this movie is that, while watching it, I thought to myself, you know, could this be, like, the best comedy of the year, you know? Do you think... And I asked myself, will I walk out of 2017 thinking that Lego Batman, one of the funniest movies I saw in the year? And I think it definitely will be up there, and it might be number one. The only reason I don't want to think that yet... is because
I don't want comedy movies to go downhill from fucking February.
Yeah, exactly. The last comedy movie I saw in the theater was entitled Ghostbusters: Answering the Call, and I went fairly easy on that movie, I think, in my review. Would you say that, Caleb?
Yeah, you're pretty fair.
I had this weird thing where I allowed the movie to take long pauses where it just wasn't entertaining and wasn't funny. As long as, you know, it caught up, it had payoffs, you know, where there was just like a one scene where they had a joke, you know? There was this point where it was like, I was laughing and I was building up laughter, and you know what, I was realizing that like if this goes on so much longer, if I keep laughing at this continuously and I keep growing in my laughter, I'm gonna run out of laughter to have. And that was like 2 minutes into the movie.
Yeah. I had to calm you down.
Yeah, you were constantly like, it's not that funny, and I was like, it is that funny.
No, I remember specifically saying, save it for the really good jokes.
Okay, so I guess here's a couple good comparison questions, which I think will help gauge for the audience how we felt about it in comparison to other things. And I guess in some ways these are going to be like kind of hard to gauge because they're like different genres. Some of these are. Let's start off with an easy one. Is this the best post Man of Steel DC movie?
Yes. I'd venture to say it's the best post Dark Knight Rises DC movie.
And when we say post, we do include the movie attached to the post.
Absolutely.
Yeah, better than Dark Knight Rises, better than Man of Steel. Although to be clear, different genres. Would you say one of the best Batman movies?
Yeah, actually, I haven't seen them all because there are too many.
Yeah.
but of the ones I've seen, I really enjoyed this. This was easily the most focused Batman movie.
Yeah, I feel like
in what it wanted to accomplish.
I feel like a lot of the other Batman movies get lost in this thing where they're trying to be dark and gritty while they're also like hanging on to these weird things in Batman that aren't dark and gritty. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like Batman 1989 is trying to be kind of like dark, and I don't hate these movies. I'm just saying it's a little off-putting. Like Batman 1989 is really camp, but it's also like super super
dark.
gothic. I wouldn't say dark, gothic at the same time. The Dark Knight, like at its time, it was like the perfect like dark and gritty superhero movie, and it has aged terribly. But all the Dark Knight movies have not aged well.
Yeah.
This movie accepts the Batman is a little camp and just has fun with it.
This movie doesn't just accept Batman as a little camp. It takes every overreactive joke that every internet reviewer has thrown at Batman and went, you know what? Let's make a movie about that.
Yeah, but you know, unlike every overreactive internet reviewer who's ever made a joke about Batman, it's still funny by the end.
Yes, absolutely. Take like any, Batman joke that you've ever made, like, oh, he's an unhinged psychopath, you know, or oh, he's just a billionaire with daddy issues.
Yeah.
Now take that to its most illogical extreme, and then make it out of Lego.
Yeah.
I don't have ADHD, but this movie is either like the perfect movie for someone with ADHD or a fucking nightmare. I can't tell. Its pacing is all over the place. It never keeps a consistent tone. But that's what makes it so good. To put this in perspective, there were the amount of times I wasn't smiling. I count of that rather than the amount of jokes that made me laugh, because those were the exception. You know, the moments where I was like, oh, you know, that's not funny. And I think it was like 5 by the end of the movie. I think it was actually 5.
Yeah, I think we talked about this right after seeing the movie, that there were like 2 or 3 jokes that weren't funny, and like 2 or 3 scenes that weren't meant to be funny.
But I don't even remember them, because they went by so quickly.
Yeah, they're not memorably bad. It's not like, oh shit, that was so cringy, you know? It's just that like, and it wouldn't be weird in any other comedy movie. It's just like, they'll make a joke, and then you go, oh, that didn't make me make a noise out loud.
Yeah.
Like, and that's weird in this movie, that there are jokes that don't make you laugh. You're like, oh, that was strange. Okay, so here's one more comparison question, which I feel like would be interesting, because this is the only question where it's something that people actually value 100%.
Yes.
Have you seen the Lego movie?
I have seen the Lego movie.
Which is better?
I've only seen the Lego movie once, and that was years ago. But I remember I feel like I enjoyed this more thoroughly and more consistently than I did the Lego movie.
Yeah, Lego movie I think was definitely one of those movies where you're like, there's like cleverness going on here, and there are a couple moments that make me laugh, and I can admire like the talent behind it.
Yeah.
But there were definitely moments in that movie where it was like, okay, whatever, just get to the point, you know?
Speaking of talent, my God, was this movie well animated.
Oh yeah, it was, absolutely.
I don't think there was a frame where there wasn't something that was there to catch your eye, something that was going on in the background.
Yeah. It was a movie where, like, in the theater, I got a little bit emotional that I couldn't take it home and watch it in slow motion. Close the video now if you don't want spoilers, and then I'm gonna dip this...
Are we doing spoilers now?
Yeah, don't, but let's...
The opening sequence, which is like, what, 10, 15 minutes?
Yeah.
The camera never stops. It never stops moving once. There's never, like, a still shot... Or like, you know, where you see characters, as far as I can remember, where you can see characters, you know, like moving or like staying in the same shot.
Yeah.
The camera is always moving. Everything on screen is always moving, and it's really beautiful. And a lot of the movie is like that.
Absolutely. The brilliant thing about this opening sequence, which is so filled with motion and craziness, is that, as Caleb was saying, there's not a lot of static shots. And as soon as he gets home and becomes Bruce Wayne, there's static shots
filled with them.
Filled with like really boring scenes, and the joke, you know, the comedy comes from the fact that there's this huge juxtaposition between Batman's superhero fighting life and his like normal life in his mansion.
So we've already talked about the intro, the amazing opening intro sequence, which has Bruce Wayne kicking literally everyone's ass.
Yeah.
They pull out all the stops. They even joke about it, them pulling out all the stops. They have like a Racerhead or whatever his fucking name is.
Yeah, they have all the...
They have a Condiments Man, Kite Man even.
The important thing you got to get about the bad guys is a lot of people, I think, come into the movie with this idea that, like, oh, they're featuring some of the bad superheroes as a joke. But actually in the movie you realize, like, oh, they're featuring some of the bad superheroes because they're saying that all Batman villains are the bad superheroes.
Exactly.
Because there's the whole thing where the actual bad guys in the movie are like other people's bad guys that aren't terrible. And I just love that because there hasn't been many Batman movies that have been willing to accept that Batman isn't some demigod that fights other demigods.
Yeah, there's one part in the movie where he knocks on the Fortress of Steel and Batman's like, what if I came here to fight you? And Superman's like, I'd fucking kill you,
Yeah,
kid.
I would crush
Like,
you.
that's not even a... Yeah, I would crush you.
Yeah.
And Batman doesn't say anything. He's not like...
He's not like, let's go now. He's like, let's, I'll come in now.
Oh, that's another thing. Joker in the very beginning of the movie, he's like, I never lose to Batman. And then someone's like, what about the 2 boats?
Oh, that's a brilliant thing. When when he gets on the airplane and he's like, I'm the Joker, and then the pilot is not like threatened at all. He's just like, all right.
That's what it was.
Yeah, Batman's gonna stop you. Batman never stops me. What about the 2 boats? This is better than the 2 boats.
Joker is he's the main antagonizing force. I wouldn't say he's the biggest. He's the antagonist.
Yes.
He's not the biggest player on the field.
But it is his game.
You know how forever now comic book fans have been driving in the whole, Batman and Joker are 2 sides of the same coin. Everyone's only one bad day away from becoming me.
Yeah.
Yada, yada, yada. Duality and moral blending. Moral gray areas. It's so great. That's why Batman's the best. Yeah, this movie has Joker doing that the entire time.
Yeah, but Batman...
And that's the reason he almost destroys everything.
Yeah.
He wants to prove to Batman that Joker is his worst enemy because they are similar.
Well, the extension of it is that Bruce Wayne in the movie, he is because of the death of his parents, which they beautifully emphasize without having to show you. And Batman is the perfect franchise to do this to, because everyone knows Batman's story. So they can still do like a kid's movie where he deals with the fact that his parents are dead. But because his parents are dead, he is super bad with relationships. He never wants to get attached to anyone. Yeah, that doesn't just extend to like a relationship with a woman or like having a kid. It also extends itself to the villains that he interacts with. To the point.
Any sort of attachment he tries to remove himself from, even if that is actual hatred.
Yeah, he refuses to hate the Joker because he doesn't like losing people. So what happens then is that Bruce Wayne, I think, tries to go to Commissioner Gordon's retirement. I think this is the same time. And he and the Joker both watch a television broadcast where Superman discusses on TV how he sent Zod. Is it Zod?
Zod.
Yeah, he sent Zod. One of those names where you're like, that can't be right. But he sent Zod into the Phantom Zone, which is the Superman space jail in space, where they put bad guys who are so bad that they are like unstoppable forces. And it's made
so bad that they ruined a franchise, like Voldemort.
Jesus, stop. So Batman is watching this and he thinks, I think it just sprouts in him the idea that, if he can lock people up in the Phantom Zone. And the Joker is watching this and he realizes, oh, so I can get sent to the Phantom Zone. I can meet these bad guys who can actually like murder people and destroy cities, and I can bring them all back with me to Gotham.
But first, I have to make sure that I look suspicious enough to get Batman to send me to the Phantom Zone.
Yeah.
I love how they even parody his amazing forward-thinking abilities.
Yeah. Well, it's basically like the Joker has all the criminals in Gotham turn themselves in, so that Batman doesn't have to like go out fighting for them anymore. So
no. He doesn't have them turn themselves in. What Joker does, and it's a great scene. He goes to confront Batman with every villain, from the Batman universe, and then he turns himself in. The heroes are confused. The villains are really confused. And then Joker captures all the villains under the guise that they are also surrendering.
Yeah.
Which brings my favorite line in the movie, which is from the Riddler.
Riddle me this!
All the villains get trapped in it.
What just happened?
Yeah, all the villains get trapped in a giant... all the villains get trapped in a giant present. And he says that thing that Quinton just said.
But the basic setup for how comedy works is that the literal definition is that it's when something happens that you don't expect, and there are a lot of, little tiny variations on that. But I think this movie did an amazing job at communicating that part of getting the comedy right when it came to like the trailers and the advertisements. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely.
Because most of the jokes in the trailer were not present in the movie, and it was it was really interesting because the trailers weren't like unfunny. You know what I mean?
But they weren't nearly as funny.
They weren't
as the
nearly
movie.
as funny as not only the movie, but the jokes that were actually in the movie for real. Like the trailer had this joke where Batman was like, they say, "What's the code word, Batman?" And Batman goes, "No, Batman." And I was like, haha, I'm sold. That was a Batman reference. I'm seeing this in the theater. And then in the actual movie, the computer goes, "What's the password?" And Batman goes, "Iron Man sucks." And it just hits you. Because, like every time you're like, oh, I recognize this scene. This scene was in the trailer. I know it's going to happen. I know they're going to say this. It doesn't.
Yeah.
And it's almost like there's a few jokes in the trailer that, like, weren't good that made the movie kind of look like it was going to potentially be bad. And I think there's actually one point in the movie where he starts to say the joke and they cut him off. "This has been a great first day." And Batman goes, "I wouldn't call it a date." And I'm pretty sure he starts to say, like, the first few words, and then someone cuts him off. I liked that all the stupid things that kind of looked stupid about the movie, by the end of the movie, they were making fun of the idea that those things would actually be something they'd stick with in the movie.
Yeah.
Like the part of the movie where Batman really heavily emphasizes the platonic, non-romantic relationship that he has with Barbara.
Yeah. Another thing that's really funny is that they acknowledge that Batman has been around since the 30s.
Yeah, he's like 90 years old in the movie.
So he's like 90 years old. And he's been Batmaning for so long.
There's this great, like, it's not even set up in the movie, but it's set up in every piece of Batman fiction of all time, where everyone sneaks up on Batman instead of Batman sneaking up on other people.
Yeah.
I also love that the Batman voice is really gruff and, like, mean, and then the Bruce Wayne voice is the same.
Yeah.
It's this fantastic just joke that you don't think about until you really notice it. So I guess what I really like about the movie the most is that, well, for one, I like how it finally does a really, really good job at acknowledging the sort of dynamic relationship between, like, Robin, Batman, and Alfred. Did I say that right? Alfred?
Yeah.
There are not too many Batman products that try to acknowledge the fact that Alfred was the person that taught Batman to fight. Well, I mean, it depends on who you ask, but a lot of comics say that is the case. And sometimes when they try and do that, they, like, give him steroids or something.
Yeah.
But I like the idea of Alfred still being a frail old man and still teaching Bruce Wayne to kick ass.
That's the best part in the movie where Bruce Wayne is finding out that Alfred was like he was a fucking tail gunner in World War II, and that's why he was so good on a fucking tail gun.
Yeah.
He's like, wait, really?
The character interactions in this, of characters that we know very well, yet characters we feel like we're meeting for the first time, they're so brilliant that they feel like, oh, that's too obvious. You know what I mean? Like, I love how Robin goes, when Robin is justifying meeting Bruce Wayne, you know, because I guess it would be weird for him to want to meet Bruce Wayne. I think he goes, "It's Bruce Wayne, the world's greatest orphan." And he meets Bruce Wayne just to get tips on how to be a better orphan.
Yeah. And then, of course, Bruce accidentally adopts him.
Yes. I like how they play Alfred off to be the father and Bruce to be the child. It's really obvious. And it's...
What do you know about raising a child that isn't yours? Or whatever.
So yeah, the Joker, and it's really funny when you really think about it. At the time, it's kind of funny in like, the movie's being bad on purpose, and then playing off of that kind of way. But it's really funny when you think about it. What the Joker is doing is, he is turning himself in and then making Batman think that he's up to something by making it look like that he's up to something. So that Batman will decide to
he's up to something.
So that Batman will decide to send him to the Phantom Zone to stop whatever he's up to, which is actually what he's up to. And the joke that, like,
he's up to nothing.
And it's just a brilliant joke that
because
the Joker
is such an amazing forward thinker.
No, not that.
He exists on a different level.
The Joker is that far into Batman's head. Like that far.
Yeah, he knows exactly how everyone will react.
Yeah, and I guess that's how now the Dark Knight just makes sense. Before he sends Joker to the Phantom Zone, Batman is so caught up on trying to figure out what the Joker is doing that like he starts getting actually threatened by the establishment that no longer needs him.
He accidentally adopted Dick Grayson, and now Alfred's forcing him to be a parent of an orphan.
So let's do quick detour, really 10 seconds. Caleb, the other day before you asked me what's the best joke in the movie. And I think a real contender is, my name is Richard Grayson. I live in an orphanage. My friends call me Dick. Kids can be cruel.
Kids can be cruel. The next bit of the movie, I'm going to explain it, is Bruce coming to terms with having this child who Alfred led into the Batcave, having to deal with him while trying to steal the Phantom Zone projector from Superman to incarcerate the Joker because he knows he's up to something.
Yeah.
And Dick Grayson, he wants to be a superhero. He's not as annoying as I thought he'd be.
Yeah, absolutely not. He's actually really funny.
I think he's the best character.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
I feel like Batman sometimes was the worst character in the movie.
No, I thought he was pretty great throughout the movie.
No, yeah, he's pretty great throughout the movie. I'm saying he's the worst because he's who you see the most, and sometimes his constant snarky, overconfident character can grate just a little bit.
So then, essentially, Batman sort of gets Robin to steal the Phantom projector.
Yeah, and it's a super dangerous sequence, but Batman justifies this by asking Dick if he's expendable.
Yeah.
Human life means nothing to Batman as long as he gets to be the hero in the end.
And then there's this scene where he tries to distract Superman because he figured that Superman lives alone like he does. And in fact, Superman is having a party, the anniversary party.
The 59th anniversary of the JLA.
Yeah, the Justice League of America, which Batman was not invited to.
Nor has he been invited to the past 59, apparently.
And there's this great scene where Batman's trying to turn off the force field that Robin needs to get through, and he destroys a lot of the priceless gems that contain Superman's father's consciousness.
It's such a good.
And I love the movie because it's great because you never see Superman's reaction.
Yeah, nor does the father react.
Yeah.
He's not like, wait, what are you doing? He's just sort of explaining them as Batman's breaking more and more.
Yeah, it is just like Batman destroys everything, and you get to wonder what the consequences of that are as Batman leaves as quickly as possible. So they get the Phantom projector, and they try and sneak it into Arkham Asylum. What kind of drink is that?
Soda.
Ah, it's very bad for you.
Sorry. He tries to sneak the Phantom Zone projector into Arkham and is immediately caught by the new commissioner who was
Batgirl.
Who was coronated at Gordon's retirement. Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
Barbara Gordon,
Yeah, Barbara
I
Gordon.
should say.
Absolutely. Didn't you say there was some joke I missed out on? Something about Commissioner Gordon's first and last name?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That was one of the best jokes was or at least for me was Commissioner Gordon's name isn't Jim Gordon. His name is Commissioner in air quotes Jim Gordon, meaning that his nickname is Jim and his name is Commissioner Jordan.
Batman basically is emotionally coerced into sending the Joker to the Phantom Zone, while he argues with the Joker about whether or not the Joker is his equal and opposite. And then Batgirl sort of locks them both in jail.
Yeah. Oh, that was another one of the cringy jokes in the movie. Later on, Batgirl dons her cape, and Batman's like, you get to be Batgirl. And she's like, well, if I gotta be Batgirl, then you gotta be a bad boy. And I'm like, well, you just killed my interest in this scene for about 30 seconds.
Yeah, that's definitely the worst joke in the movie. Like, that's the movie that would be in a Batman comedy written by someone else. Like a really bad Batman comedy.
I feel like one of the Suicide Squad members accidentally walked into the writing room.
Oh yeah.
And was like, oh, you're doing the Batgirl scene? I had this joke. And they're like, no, please. I'm just gonna put it in.
Yeah. They just like, can you send the script down to the office? Yes, I can. And he pulls out like a crayon while he walks out the door.
Yeah.
So Harley Quinn is, she steals the Phantom Projector and she releases everybody. Everybody is released. So I guess we should briefly talk about the villains in the movie and how. One thing the trailers did a great job of barely revealing, in that you knew that there was going to be something there, but you didn't know how. I figured it was going to be like a last scene in the movie kind of thing, but it hid very well the reveal of the guest villains, the actual villains in the movie.
Yeah.
You didn't know who was going to be in the movie or why, you know. I didn't know Voldemort.
Yeah.
I didn't know Voldemort was going to be in this movie. Yeah.
Who the fuck would have thought that Sauron would visit Gotham?
That was such a weird, funny, specific depiction of Sauron. The Daleks, of course, are in there. They're pretty much all stock audio.
King Kong.
A big lizard thing.
And, yeah, totally not Godzilla because he's actually copyrighted.
It reminds me of when I wanted to see National... do you remember National Treasures 2?
No.
Really? Well, I saw it in the theater, and it was terrible. And the only reason I saw it in the theater was because the trailer had, like, Darth Vader in it. And, like, Oscar the Grouch also working with Darth Vader. And I was like,
what?
Are you telling me there's a movie out there where Darth Vader and Oscar the Grouch, they work together to try and kill Ben Stiller?
That's amazing.
But that's not the plot of the movie. It's a one-scene cameo they clearly paid a lot of money for.
National Treasure or Night at the Museum?
I'm sorry.
What the fuck?
I'm always mixing up National Treasure and Night at the Museum. It is a thing.
Okay, so it was Night at the Museum.
Yeah, it was Night at the Museum too. But now that movie could come out for real. There could be a real movie where Oscar the Grouch and Darth Vader try to kill Ben Stiller. It's just everyone would have to look like a Lego. Did you notice that even though Zod is specifically mentioned as being in the Phantom Zone, we never see Zod?
Yeah, I did notice that.
It's a little weird. Okay, so like the Wicked Witch of the West, all her monkeys, the fucking gremlins. Such a weird mix.
Yeah.
Whoever thought, oh, there's gonna be a movie where the Wicked Witch of the West and like the gremlins, they're just gonna hang out. I did notice that there's only one set of villains that don't belong, and they're only in the movie for like one scene, and it's the Matrix dudes.
Yeah, what the fuck?
Like, they were just there in like the Phantom Zone, and I guess they missed their cue. They were in the Phantom Zone the whole time.
No, they're seen fighting. Robin's seen fighting them later.
Oh, is he? Yeah.
He knocks him off the
They're a
plane.
really weird choice to include, because it's like, does that make in the Matrix universe? Are you like a Matrix 2 kind of what?
I feel like it was that same Suicide Squad writer. He was like, "Are you fucking kidding me? There's not a Matrix reference in this."
Barbara releases Batman as long as he agrees to work with not the police force, but her, Robin, and Alfred. And that is like the best. That's like, I really admire that they had Alfred be in the final sequence.
Yeah. I love as they're trying to free Batman, Barbara Gordon's like, "I guess I'll let you out." And Alfred's like, "Oh, good, I was coming to do that." And she's like, and he and Bruce start talking, and Barbara's in the background is like, "What? How did you get in here? This is a maximum security prison."
Like, Gotham is in hell.
Like actual, to see is actual, as what was it, Sauron?
Yeah.
I think Sauron said he would do that.
He said, I will make the waters run with blood, and Joker's like, we can't do that. And he's...
No, jeez!
And I think
That's awful.
Sauron goes, can we do lava?
No, Joker's like, yeah, Joker makes the compromise. He's like, is lava good? And he's like, lava will suffice.
I think from the beginning they're like, set your guns to stun. And someone screams, yay, non-lethal! There's a scene where lava just like consumes the city street, and you see a cat get swept up, and she turns like pitch black charcoal, and then you just hear, "I'm okay."
Because it swept up. Yeah, swept up by the lava.
Yeah.
And it's. They never make a. There's never like a gunshot noise. They're like laser beam sound effects.
Anytime someone uses a gun, yeah, they go pew 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 pew.
Pew 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 with their mouth.
Yeah. So they build a Batmobile, you know, because this is a Lego movie.
Bat crawler.
Oh yeah,
Thank you.
That was a really cool thing. It was like strangely unique. I've never seen that in a Batman movie.
Are you trying to tell me that Batman is Bruce Wayne's neighbor?
I think he says roommate, but yeah, So they fight to the palace, but then Batman sort of tricks them all into getting back into the Bat thing, and then he sends them off to get him tacos so he can
go get on out of here.
So he can save the day without them being in danger. Because I guess he realizes he has to face the Joker on foot by himself, or however you would say it. But then he gets caught by the Phantom Zone gun thing.
And he gets his ass handed to him.
Yeah, he gets beat up and he gets sent into the Phantom Zone.
And the Phantom Zone sneaks up on him. There's a computer in the Phantom Zone that asks him if he's a bad guy. And he's like, I am not bad guy. And then it's like, but you've been like a total dick this whole movie. And he's like, oh no, my feels. Yeah. And then Batman says, you know, if you let me, I'll make a hero sacrifice. I'll get every bad guy back into the Phantom Zone. And the computer's like, every bad guy, I mean it. And he's like, okay.
Yeah. It's not anywhere near as obnoxious as it sounds when we describe it after the fact. Like, it's the most jarring part of the movie, but it's not too bad.
So, you know, then he goes to save his friends, and they have the tongue-in-cheek yet still sappy reunion.
Well, everyone almost dies because they all try and do it. They don't work as a team after he's gone. They all do their own thing, and they're all bad at their own thing. I think Robin immediately tries to be Nightwing.
Yeah.
It's just this
He's like, well, what would Batman do? No, that's my favorite. He's like, what would Batman do?
Batman's like, don't do it.
Put on a suit.
Don't do what I would do.
Yeah. He's like, he'd put on a suit, start driving really fast, and punch everything that moves. And he's like, no, don't do it. It's a bad idea.
Batman.
They push the forces out of the mansion. Godzilla accidentally kills Sauron.
Yeah, they send everyone back to the Phantom Zone, and then Batman goes, I'm gonna go to defuse that bomb. And you just see tick 1, and then everything explodes.
Yeah, it explodes.
There's an empty abyss, like a vortex underneath Gotham City, and it's only supported It's only supported by the actual bricks that Gotham City is made out of.
Yeah.
So
that is destroyed by the bomb. The one thing this movie does very well is it's a concept I've always liked. What seemed to be inconsequential concepts in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
One of which being in the very opening of the movie, there are these two pilots piloting a plane with just all the explosives. Who are best buddies, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, because of our friendship, we can get through everything. And, you know, it sounds like a throwaway joke. But, like, throughout the entire movie, it's just hammering you with that concept.
Yeah.
The thing that saves everybody is also just a recurring joke that, you know, it just feels like a nothing joke. And it's, you want to say it with me?
I want to.
Do you know what it is? It's what saved them. Shredded abs.
Shredded abs, yeah. Oh, it's such a great joke.
Shredded abs.
Oh.
Batman's always talking about his incredible ab work. It is literally what people using their abs is what saves Gotham from falling to pieces. Every citizen of Gotham stands, you know, head on foot. Foot on head, I mean.
Yeah.
They make human bridges, and then they pull it back together with their sick, nasty abs.
Yeah.
This is where Joker and Batman, it's their bond of wanting to fucking kill each other that brings Gotham back together. I like I hadn't even thought of it because I'm not nearly as well versed at, analyzing things or deep thought, but him sort of bridging that gap with shredded abs and letting people into his heart is what literally brought him and the Joker and the entire city back together.
That's true. Is this beautiful piece of comedic timing where they're like stretching it and it's slowly going back together pieces. And it's just like click. It's like one frame.
Yeah, click.
Then Batman's like, I gotta go back to the Phantom Zone. Also, I am Bruce Wayne.
Yeah. And Robin's like, oh man, my two dads are actually the same dad? He's not like, you fucking lied to me, you piece of shit.
He's like, this is the most exciting day of my life. I think he has a line that's like, man, 2 days ago, I didn't have any dads, and then I had a dad, and now I have 2 dads.
Now I have 2 dads.
But I guess he tries to go into the Phantom Zone, but then he sort of gets rejected by the Phantom Zone for being a good guy. And
he smashes against the sky, which is
it's beautiful how the movie knows like how to set up an unexpected funny moment. Oh, but there's this big then the sort of the computer comes out and it starts telling Batman, that he's redeemed himself. And I don't know if you noticed this in the movie, Caleb, but this really made me appreciate how much detail was in the movie. They didn't take like a Lego brick 3D model and stretch it out. They built
Yeah, they built
They
it.
built
They built
a giant Lego brick out of like thousands of Legos.
Yeah.
And it looks really nice.
Oh, this movie.
And they're just and it's just like oh well you've proved yourself that you are good. And then Batman's like, we're all gonna live together in my mansion and we're all gonna fight crime as a team because it's better that way.
Yeah. And then they're like, now it's time for a musical number that kids at home love, as well as corporate busybodies.
Actual line in the movie.
So do you want to do a pointless rating system?
No. Well, I give this 9 British robots out of 10 Sarumans with dialogue.
Man, see, that joke wasn't funny in 2007. I'm glad you brought it back, though, because you have continued. You've continued to show me that you do not deserve 32 subscribers.
5 punched computers out of 5. I would give it 4 cans of Pringles I threw across the room when I was mad that my computer shut down out of 5.
I'd give it about 70 schmackles.
I'd give it about I'd give it about 350.
About 350. They're good dogs, Brent. It's a good movie, Brent.
We have to have some final statement to the podcast, Caleb. We gotta have like.
I've got it. Trust me, I've got it.
We have to have like an outro at least.
Yeah, this has been Quinton recounts and that faggot that you never want to see. Thank you. Fuck you. Goodbye.
Alright, so let's start over with that one. No longer are you allowed to do the outro. I don't know if we did that joke with this take, but you're definitely not allowed to do the outro or the intro anymore. Thanks for watching, guys. If you want to leave a suggestion for the next video that we should watch on this series, leave it below. Smash that motherfucking like button, or demons will come in your sleep and they'll just wrap their little hands around. They'll wrap their little hands around you, Willie, and they'll take it away and leave you to suffer through the rest of your life, knowing that your genetic pool is gone forever. So just leave your thoughts in the comment box below. Tell me what you thought of the series. Tell me who I should get once I kick Caleb off of it, and I'll see you guys next time. Sayonara.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologize.